Damn, y'all feel that?
Yeah, yeah, uh, yeah. A message to all you pseudo spitters. The sound is cool, but the trend I see is the truth is missing. I feel the flow is stupid. You claim that the music's different. I guess it's all opinion, depending on who is listening.
What's the word, y'all? It's KTR underscore podcast, hashtag KTR. We are KTR. We are back in the building for episode 87, live and direct with your boys, No Rose Podcast, hashtag KTR. And we are back again for another episode, for some more news, for some more details about what is going on in the wrestling community. But before we dive into this new episode, episode 87, I got to check in with my brothers, and that is Big Harv and J-Bo himself. And my brothers, how are y'all feeling today?
Another day, another dollar that's decreased by our economy. So I'm doing all right. How about you, Big Harv?
Well said. Well said. I'm alive. Yeah, we alive. Can't really ask for much more, right?
Dang, okay, this is not a good foot to start on right now, but let's change the mood real quick. And before we change that mood and dive this episode, y'all gotta do this one simple favor for us, and that is to follow us on all social media platforms, KTR underscore podcast, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, No Rose Podcast, Facebook, YouTube, No Rose Podcast on all podcast platforms. Got Google Podcasts, got Spotify, got Anchor, got Apple Podcasts, got Popping. We on everything, and don't forget to get that merch at ProWrestlingTees.com/KTR podcast. Let's get in, let's go, and let's get into the show. First and foremost, let's talk about something real quick. Let's talk about a person y'all probably dislike, but hey, money talk in this industry with the world wrestling entertainment business, and that is Mr. Logan Paul. I told y'all I was going to talk about this on a random day, but yeah, today is the day. Logan Paul influence in the WWE has been something for some odd reason, but he's a big influence, one of the biggest social media influencers in the world. We can't negate that, but still at the same time, this man and his money is talking. He's been in a WrestleMania event. He's main evented in Saudi Arabia. He has the United States Championship. He's about to be the first person to have an endorsement in the middle of a wrestling ring for PLEs. And not only that, this man is a 90 overall on WWE 2K24 as a part-time celebrity wrestler. So with this being said, the influence that Logan Paul is having in the WWE. What are your thoughts about that? Take it away, my brothers.
You know, I will let Harv start on this one because I know how much he loves him some Paul.
No, I can't stand the guy, man. I mean, it's great that he makes so much money and brings so many eyes to the product. I'm sure that that's a big reason why he's rated so high and why he's getting all these endorsements and all that. He's a great businessman. He's a great athlete. Can't deny that he's really good in the ring, but I don't like him. It's just flat out. I respect his abilities and what he's able to do, but I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of influencer culture, period. So maybe that's what it is. I hate the term influencer. That sounds stupid. Really makes everybody who listens to you sound like an idiot. But yeah, congratulations to him. I'm glad that he's making the waves that he's making. Again, it's good for the product. I'm just not a fan. I doubt I'll ever be a fan. You know, I can't really knock him for holding title anymore. We have so many part-time title holders. He comes actually pretty frequently. He still don't wrestle as much as I'd like to see for somebody that's in the industry. But can't knock him. Really nothing negative to say about it except I don't like the guy. That's it. Yeah, Moore's punk ass brother. Sorry, go
ahead. Well, my disdain for Logan Paul may not be as severe, but Harv also acknowledged the good parts that Logan Paul has brought in. We've seen numerous celebrity wrestlers who came in, probably did one match here for the spotlight or whatever. But Logan Paul arguably has been one of the more consistent when it comes to either storyline or just simply in ring. He is a solid top mid card based wrestler. So I'll give him that for his in ring. So I mean, but we talked about him before. So his in ring is surprising. The only thing I'm really disliking right now is that terrible eyesore that they're putting in the ring going forward. That daggone prime drink. I mean, shoot, if I'm going to get on board with that at all, they can at least make the colors match with what's going on for the event that's going on, because there are multiple different primes. That's the only thing I really don't like about what he's doing pushing forward. But other than that, I think he's doing decent work with the U.S. title, with Randy Orton being teased and going on with it. He'll put on another good match at WrestleMania. Uh, I, I don't really have that much to say, but I don't care for him too much, but I definitely respect his in ring, because for a celebrity wrestler, he actually does very good. I have yet to see a bad Logan Paul match. I've seen a match where it's like, okay, it's not as good as a prior one, but it's not bad. So I'll give him that.
You know what?
You would. Yeah, no, go ahead. You would. This is your kind of guy, of course. Of course. He speaks to you. Of course he does. Go ahead. You got it.
Well, I mean, he said, I'm not mad at it. I'm going to say that.
Oh, man.
At first, like I said, I wasn't a big fan of the person Logan Paul outside of the WWE, but him being in the WWE, I'm kind of fond of him. Like he all right with me. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I like what's doing. He's bringing viewership to the company. He's bringing money to the company. Some things I don't agree with. He shouldn't be at 90 on the video game. He definitely shouldn't have hold this U.S. title for this long or at all. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. But at the same time, like, nah, I ain't mad at it. I'll let it slide for now. Just hopefully don't. You know what? Thing about it makes it worse, because I forgot another thing to mention. He's the face of SummerSlam this year. SummerSlam coming to his hometown. So it made me think this man about to be U.S. champion up until SummerSlam.
No, I can see him dropping it and then them probably putting him in the main event again.
The main event at SummerSlam?
I do see it. Yeah. Co-main event, if not the main event, I absolutely see it. He main evented in Saudi Arabia. Of course, that's Saudi Arabia, but like you just said, it's his hometown. And they've put him at a spot where it's believable. He could believably have a storyline that would put him in that spot. Regardless of who the champion is, regardless of who he'd be challenging, he could believably come up with a reason why he deserves that spot. And he gonna get the pop. He gonna draw the viewership. He gonna draw the merch. He gonna draw all that. So it's not gonna hurt the company at all.
Yeah.
I could definitely say, I pray God he don't win it, but I definitely see him possibly main event, co-main eventing that pay-per-view. Absolutely.
Hey, shout out to Logan Paul, man. I don't know what else to say.
I ain't say that. Ain't what I said.
I'm saying it's okay. It's got to worry about it. But like I said, Logan Paul is making waves within the WWE, and probably more waves to come with everything that's got going on. Like I said, he got this whole Prime deal for the next year, so he's going to be around, whether we like it or not. Whether Harv dislikes it, because I ain't mad at it. It's like a boxing match. They got advertisements everywhere around the ring. So like, why not start something new to WWE?
Just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean that they should. That doesn't fit the mold for WWE. Yeah, AEW does it. Yeah, WCW has done in the past, but WWE has been notorious for having just a clean-cut wrestling ring. And again, even if they want to go along that route, fine, but it is an eyesore. Just what they have right now with that Prime is an eyesore. That's just my point.
Well, I mean, what WWE's been doing in the past, they have matches sponsored by, the big companies, just have that all around. And that was first, because the thing about, I remember we was in watching the show in Vegas, and TurboTax was the sponsor. Do you know how bad it feels for me to watch an advertisement to remind me to do my taxes on a wrestling show? That's the last thing I want to think about doing right now because I don't get money back. All right, so that's my problem. I don't like seeing that. It's just like, oh, here it comes. And look, I'm just thinking about right now. April's next month.
Well, how would you feel if you're watching like this great match and you even go back in history and you want to watch a replay of this match that you even saw in person, but when somebody gets body slammed or attitude adjustment from John Cena and they get attitude adjustment on TurboTax, and that's all you're seeing.
It's gonna remind me, bring me back to 2023. Like, damn, I had to pay this much money back in taxes.
That's even worse because I have to look at it throughout the entire match. At least if it's an advertisement just for that one moment, I can skip past it and then go straight to the match.
See,
now
with Prime is different because I like the drink. So I'm like, yeah, that was a good drink. I like that green one. So yeah.
That's besides the point. It's ugly as hell.
But you like the drink though.
That's not the point.
Exactly. So you like the drink. That's all that matters. So look, you fall in love with Paul Trap.
With the influencer culture because that shit tastes like camel piss.
The one, the can or one, the bottle or the powder one. Which one have you had?
Oh, it tastes different when it's in the bottle versus the can.
It do taste different.
No, it don't.
You know what? We're gonna move on from. Okay, we're gonna stay on the
same formula of camel piss mixed
it's
with
not the
various
same
fruits
thing.
and berries. All right, that's what it is. Go ahead.
Moving on. We're gonna talk about let's stay in the WWE real quick. We're gonna talk about Damian Priest real fast. We're gonna talk about him. He's on my radar because we have not forgotten about you. You have that briefcase in your hand, and time is ticking. The next Money in the Bank is in June, right?
Yes,
it's in June. We are halfway through March right now.
Yeah.
When y'all think he gonna cash in that briefcase, and will he do it on the main card title or a mid card title?
That's right, because that new rule ever since Austin Theory failed miserably is that they can challenge for whatever belt that he wants now. It would not be wise for him to go after a heavyweight title. It just wasn't, because they have not built him enough as a heavyweight contender. And it's not Damian's fault because he's doing great in the ring. The problem is that he stuck him with Finn Balor and his tag team, where the group is fine, but the tag team and the entire tag divisions, we talked numerous times on this show, has no merit, has no value right now. But that's where Damian Priest is.
Split the belts, please.
Split the belt. That's a simple solution, and I don't care what their argument is. I don't know why they haven't, but with Damian Priest being forced into a tag team the entire time, their theory is that, we'll put him in a tag team and everyone will forget about it. No, we didn't forget about it. We're still forced to see it anyway. So it'll behoove him to go after a mid-card title and just carry that. The world heavyweight title picture won't fit him right now because the belt already lacks integrity because Roman Reigns destroys it every week on promos. And obviously the undisputed title is not an option for him right now unless he's going to lose. So yeah, the mid-card title is the only one that makes sense right now.
It will never make sense to cash in Money in the Bank for anything less than a world title, even if it doesn't fit, even if it isn't in the cards right now. Cashing it in for a lesser title is stupid. Making that rule is stupid. I never liked it. I never understood why they did that. If you win, you win. You lose, you lose. To me, that makes it what it should be, regardless of if you have a chance of winning or not. It's the chance. That's the point of the Money in the Bank. It gives you a chance at any moment to have that shock factor go in and try to win. People lose. Having him go for a mid card, the only one that will work is the Intercontinental title. But that would be a terrible way to end Gunther's reign, and I can't see somebody else starting a reign and losing it like that to an opportunity, to an opportunist. That just doesn't make sense to me. He has to go for a world title, even if he loses. I just feel like that's pointless. It kills the briefcase. They're really doing a lot to kill their accolades, I feel like, lately. The briefcase is being diminished. The world title hasn't even been there a full damn year. It's been diminished by their own people. I don't get it. We got a part-time undisputed title, part-time US title, tag titles, like I said, they're just, I don't think that splitting it will fix anything. You got to actually care about the tag division and actually they got tag teams. They just don't care. They don't care to build them. They don't care to have actual mindful feuds. You'll have a team win and they break up. I just don't. It's the same thing with the women's tag. It's so pointless. I never understood why they had Finn Balor and Damian Priest as the tag team in the group to have the titles. They were the two damn leaders. One of
Yep.
them maybe, but they have freaking I never get his name right.
McDonough.
Big head, yeah, McDonough, big head boy, and
Rey Mysterio's son.
and Dominic. Yeah, I mean they have options. They have options that would be better for having somebody in the group that has the briefcase. I just feel like they fumbled that as a whole and have been for a while. It's not going to end well for Priest. This was a failed experiment. He was hot last year when they gave it to him, so it kind of made sense. They haven't done enough to build him in any capacity to be a single star. So it's failed. It's already a fail. I don't see how they salvage it, honestly. On to the next.
I'll piggyback off Harv because I remember when he won the Money in the Bank briefcase, like none of us really expected for him to win, but I don't think no one on the show had a problem with it because he was different, somebody new, someone who didn't have a history of being a world champion, potentially put him up on the next level. He had no problem with it. But as Harv mentioned, the undisputed title is in such a position to where Roman Reigns can't just lose it randomly. It has to be articulated. It has to be specific in order for it to pay off. So that's just completely out the picture. And the world heavyweight title, I mean, yeah, sure, that's the only other one he could go for if the rules were still the same to go after the world title. But even that one is up in the air because, like I said, you know, the Rock, Roman Reigns, they all just keep reiterating that it's a consolation prize title. So even
Drew
if they
challenging for it, and he said it. That's what killed me. How you challenging for it and you said it? That's crazy. But yeah, it's nuts.
It's not going to turn, as you mentioned, it's just not going to turn out well for Damian Priest. That's why I mentioned, yes, even if we agree with it or not, the only way they could make it somewhat work is with the mid-card title. Is that the best option? No. Is that the option that's preferred? No. But that's something else that they can do because right now the world heavyweight title picture is just a failed venture for Priest.
Yeah, like I agree. Like that's all over the place, and I just don't see him successfully cashing in on either world title or WWE title at that anyway. And so, if I feel like if he does do it, it'll be at WrestleMania, but he's not going to successfully win the title over. I feel like they just gave that Money in the Bank briefcase for him just as a placeholder, as a temporary title, because the Money in the Bank briefcase holds that power of like, oh, I got the potential of being the next face of the company, the next champion. And so I just feel like that little placeholder just, help elevate it, the Judgment Day for this period of time of this year span, just to give them more prominence for their group, because since they weren't going to give the title to him, because Gunther been Intercontinental title for this long. Rhea Ripley is the world's women's champion. So it's like, what are you going to do for these other people? You gave Rey Mysterio's son the North American championship from NXT. So it's like, what we got left? Let's just add the tag titles on. So we got some belts on. Let's make Damian Priest look like the leader because he has the briefcase. It's just like their little placeholder for the time being. Because I feel like after WrestleMania, everything's going to be kind of diminished with the Judgment Day. It's going to be breaks in between because I feel like Rhea's going to lose her title. The Judgment Day going to lose their tag titles, and whatever happens after that happens because I don't know where they go from here.
If the WWE did not spend so much time that they had bringing down the World Heavyweight title, we may have a different conversation. Because then it would give them, like you mentioned, you said, hey, maybe they put the briefcase on Damian Priest as a play. Well, it would have been a placeholder because the World Heavyweight title had prominence. Then that's something that they can shoot forward toward, not just Damian Priest, but as Judgment Day as a whole. But yeah, because the title doesn't mean that much anymore. Yeah, it is a placeholder. It is. It's just something to give another title to the group.
Facts. You got anything to add about that, Big Harv?
No, man, I just wish things would have been done differently because I'm a fan of Priest. I like him in the ring. Of course, he needs promo work. Not everybody is going to be good on the mic and have that natural charisma, but I do think that he would make a good world heavyweight champion if they built him properly instead of sticking him in a tag team and kind of cornholing him there. But yeah, I don't see how it works out in a positive way.
I understand with that. And there's something else I don't understand how it's going to work out. And that is the potential that's already established match of Gunther versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. What happened with that? I feel like they dropped the ball because we feel like, I mean, I don't want to speak for the group, but feel like somebody else should have that spot instead of Sami Zayn.
I'm gonna hold out. No, go ahead, bro.
No, I was just gonna say if WWE was smart, because clearly the fan energy is behind Gable right now. So if the WWE was smart, fine, Sami Zayn in there, no problem with that. Throw Gable in there. So how they can work it is that they could have a triple threat match. Gable can finally win the belt, but he doesn't have to pin Gunther. He doesn't have to. He can pin Sami Zayn. Now you branched out into two potential opportunities. You have Sami Zayn, you can keep him in the title picture, or you have Gunther, who never really lost his belt one-on-one, and he was never pinned. So now Gable has a chance to prove himself at the next PLE to go against a man who he's been one-on-one with 3 separate occasions and lost, but now he's the champion on the other side. It really defines him as the next champion going forward. So if they're smart, they can really play this well. But they can't just leave this as Zayn versus Gunther. That'd just be stupid.
Boy, they need to hire you as a writer. That was good thinking right there. Oh, take it away, Big Ho. I ain't got nothing to say.
I honestly don't understand why they haven't brought up Gable Stevenson and added him to the group and
Oh
just
my
changed the
God.
name to Gable and Gable.
What Gable Stevenson?
Yeah, Gable and Gable. Chad Gable, Gable Stevenson, Gable and Gable.
I told you
right,
that
so,
was not going to work out.
It would work perfectly. Anyway, what I was saying is I'm still holding out hope for the triple threat. We were texting about it when the match happened. I honestly thought that the gauntlet was going to end with Imperium coming out and beating the hell out of everybody.
As a draw.
There we go. There's a triple threat, tailor made. The story, they have 2 good stories, but Chad Gable obviously has the crowd way more emotionally invested, as it should. It involves a child, all right? It involves a dream, and people are finally starting to pay attention to Chad Gable. I've been saying for years how good Chad Gable is and how he needs to be taken more seriously. If it had to be one-on-one, he should have taken it from Sami, and Sami could go down the whole disgruntled route that he's so good at. He's done it before. Like J-Bo said, even at Mania, hopefully they do make it the triple threat and we can still go down that same route. Regardless, Sami's not right at this time to face Gunther or to take the title off of Gunther. That's just flat out. It should have been Chad Gable. It easily should have been Chad Gable. The story was already written. Even his promos leading up to it, a little backstage stuff, everything. It just made perfect sense for it to be Gable versus Gunther. And they dropped the ball again. I get Sami's always been popular. He's great at working the crowd, but you should be able to read situations by now. You really should.
Yeah.
Ditto. Agree. Everything y'all said, I agree with it. Like I said, I was all for Chad Gable. I thought he was gonna win it all, but then they had that ending. Like I said, I had the same thought ending as you. I was like, okay, they're gonna come out and they're gonna get jumped. Then what's name? Adam Pearce is gonna come out saying, hey, this is gonna be a triple threat match at WrestleMania because the DQ interference. So yeah, so we're gonna see what happens at WrestleMania for that. Yeah, hopefully it does get changed to a triple threat match, and like everything that we just said on this little spotlight happens in the result, because you can continue a further storyline going to other shows with SummerSlam and Money in the Bank and more shows to come.
And we bring in Gable Stevenson for Gable and Gable.
No, we are not doing that. All right. He's
Gable and Gable.
I'm off of my brothers always, but no. He stop saying that. All right, let's switch. We're gonna switch avenues. We're gonna go to we're gonna go all elite real quick. We're gonna speak about the debut of one of J-Bo's favorite people. I said one of them. I didn't say the main one. I said one of them. You liked her back then.
Yes, I like it, definitely.
Yeah. Well, we know she's not Bianca, but Mercedes Moné.
Correct.
Yes, we know this already. So yeah, Mercedes Moné has made her debut, showed her face at the most recent AEW Dynamite show. With that, how do y'all feel about this new debut and with her career going forward with All Elite Wrestling. Take it away.
She debuted basically the same way she did at New Japan. So it didn't do anything for me. Everybody knew she was going to be there eventually. They should have made it matter more. They could have done more with it. I'm
They did in her hometown.
sure. I'm just hoping that I feel like New Japan was a bit lackluster, and I'm hoping that she does better here in AEW. It just didn't hit home for me like I hoped it would. It just really didn't. So I'm hoping for the best. I love Sasha Banks. Mercedes Moné, always have. I feel like she's incredibly skilled, but AEW worries me. WWE already don't do their women well, and not well enough. They do it better than they used to. But who's the last woman in AEW to really make an impact? We had Jade Cargill, and right now Toni Storm is doing excellent. But other than that, who else? They signed a bunch. They brought him in. Saraya was a failed experiment. They bring him in, do something with him 5 minutes, and push him to the side. And that's really all I see them doing with her at this point. I don't see where she fits. I don't see a clear path for her going forward in AEW.
I would be surprised if she makes it past a year. Okay. Sasha Banks, also known as Mercedes Moné, she's very opinionated about who she is as a character in wrestling. Where she's only going to go where she feels she's appreciated, and if she don't feel appreciated, she's going to go. That's her. That's how she handles business. But AEW is the place where wrestlers go not for their careers to die, but they go there for their careers to stall. So what I mean by that is they can go there, they'll have, matches here and there. It's not going to be that important, but eventually they'll leave and they'll go back to the WWE where there's a potential for their career to get rejuvenated. I don't see. Let me say this. I'm happy that Mercedes Moné, got another opportunity to shine and be the CEO that she is. But I just, with what AEW does with their women's wrestlers and for the type of career I'm expecting Sasha Banks to have, I think she's going to be there. She'll have a few matches. She'll win the women's championship. And when they start stalling on her career, she's going to be up and go. That's just how I view it. I don't see her staying longer than a month. And to be honest, longer than a year. And that time frame to me is just advantageous anyway.
I'm like, damn, that man said a month. I'm like, shit. I'm pretty sure they paid her some good money, but dang, a month.
Well, if it's not in the title picture within the next month, maybe. Because you can just imagine what her deal is. She's making millions of dollars, obviously. She has to be in main event style matches. It has to be some type of championship involved. I'm pretty sure that's what she signed. That's what she had with New Japan. I'm pretty sure that's what she would want if she ever goes back to the WWE. So I know it's no different here in AEW. So, yeah, I'll give it a year.
Okay.
It's the first timeline.
I'm happy for her. Like, she gonna get her money. But like I said, like the way how that business conducts like their storylines and everything, and the way push and with this inconsistencies, that's where basically my worry comes in. So like I'm right there with you in the ballpark with that. So not sure how it's gonna go on their end and like butting heads will happen, but hopefully with all this to come, like she'll return back to the WWE on the right note with new and better management, and things will get handled properly in the right way.
Yep.
So, like I said, collect that check, enjoy it, then transition over to the bigger check, and everything will be better. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Last topic of the day, and we could just speak on this real quick because I had 5 down and we got a couple minutes to talk about it. And we're going to talk about this real brief. Y'all probably don't really care about, but that is the talks of where WrestleMania 41 will be at for next year. And they're talking about having a bidding war, in that the state of Minnesota and Minneapolis is in the lead to host WrestleMania 41. And I like to speak first on this.
Okay.
y'all better not miss out on the chance to host WrestleMania in Las Vegas instead of Minneapolis. That's all I gotta say. Vegas, Minneapolis. Only way Minneapolis would work is if that one wrestler that y'all just kicked out of y'all business was there because he went to college out there. We're not gonna speak about him right now because he's going through his allegations real quick. But if y'all don't miss out on the opportunity to host WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, Nevada, with all its attractions, with all of its amenities, that's the place where all the people internationally like to travel to. You got the best of every world out there, along with the entertainment. Who cares about Minneapolis? Except for fans of the Vikings. But other than that, nobody wants to go to Minnesota. Ain't nothing out there except for Mall of America. That's it. I ain't gonna walk around the mall for 4 days. I mean, they might, but I'm not. But yeah, ain't nothing doing in Minnesota. Ain't Minneapolis in Minnesota before I put my foot in my mouth. I don't want to sound stupid.
Yes, you're right.
All right, good. Nobody want to go to Minnesota. That's all I'm saying. Have WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas. Take it away. Oh yeah, and also it's gonna be too hot to be having SummerSlam in Cleveland, Ohio. All right, next. I'm done. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't. I would prefer Vegas, obviously, and I think that's more of an impactful move. I mean, we are already having conversations about Philadelphia already, and just that's already an interesting spot. But Minnesota, I don't know. I just don't think that is a city that's having such a big event like WrestleMania would typically be in. We can get away with the SummerSlam, Survivor Series, we can get away with those. But WrestleMania, I don't know. I expect a much bigger city, a much bigger time there. But I really don't have too much opinion on it, but I would prefer Vegas. I would share my sentiment with Cinko.
Yeah, Vegas is obviously the most obvious choice, I guess. But they know that people gonna flock from all over the world to wherever the hell they tell them to go to watch WrestleMania. They don't care. Whoever give them the best deal, whoever give them the biggest cut, that's where they gonna go.
Yeah,
that's how it works. But I agree, Vegas, it has the big fight feel to it. You know what I'm saying? That's just where so many historic big fights have happened. Vegas makes more sense. Absolutely.
Do the right thing, World Wrestling Entertainment. Bring WrestleMania 41 to Vegas. I understand Minneapolis, they're building a new stadium. I get that. They want to have it, but still, Vegas still has a brand new stadium. It ain't even over 4 years old right now. Everything they got the Sphere out here. We got other locations for other events. Everything's in walkable distance. If people decide to stay on the Strip, you gotta remember that. It'll be helpful. It's gonna be crowded, but it's gonna be helpful. I'm not gonna be out there because I don't live there. So yeah, but everything will work out perfectly fine. But until then, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for subscribing. Thank y'all for y'all support of No Roast Podcast. Because without y'all, there would be no KTR. Thank y'all for tuning in for episode 87. We love y'all and appreciate y'all. But before we sign out, y'all gotta do this one simple favors, and that is to follow all social media platforms, KTR_podcast, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok while it's available. No Roast Podcast, Facebook, YouTube, No Roast Podcast on all podcast platforms. Got Google Podcasts, got Spotify, got Anchor, got Apple Podcasts, got Podbean, everything. And don't forget to get that merch at ProWrestlingTees.com/KTR podcast. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's get off this show. And also, don't forget to go support Slam Jam STL on all social media platforms. That's Slam Jam STL, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. But until then, this is episode 87, live and direct, Know the Roast Podcast, #KTR, and we are out.
What should they do? Big Hard.
Hey, man, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to WrestleMania 41. All right, I'm looking forward to 41, 2025. All right, main event, picture it. Undisputed title, tag Gable Stevenson. Nothing's gonna pump them numbers like Gable and Gable. Pump them up, baby. Gable and Gable, hashtag.
That don't compute in my mind, I must be out of mind. Black fist high, rally up before we out of time.